Spring at Gary Snyder's home, Kitkitdizze. The sakura cherry blossoms just bloomed fully. Actually arrived on the day when every blossom is open. And Gary is very happy about it. He planted this tree 45 years ago. Good morning.
Good morning.
We are at on your deck, right?
This is the deck of the far north end, the far west end of the house.
Kitkitdizze.
Kitkitdizze.
When did you build this place? So beautiful.
You know, I could look it up somewhere.
Okay.
But sometime around 1970.
Okay. How did you find this place?
The land here.
Yeah.
I had talked to various friends along the Sierra Mountain, the western Sierra Mountain elevations below the major snow line and above too much agriculture, and that usually came to be around 3,000 feet.
Okay.
Elevation. So I thought it would be interesting to look at what kind of land and forest there would be at that elevation in northern, in the northern gold rush country, which would be primarily Nevada City and Grass Valley, as much as any place. And I had been through there several times before. So when after I had come back from Japan and thought about where I wanted to be, I decided that perhaps the best place I could try to settle in would be along the western side of the Sierra Nevada, where I would be close to the mountains. I could also get to the Bay Area easily, fairly easily, and the climate would be good. So this is where I came in a general way, looking at land. And I knew that I didn't want to be in town, but in a drivable distance from town.
Right.
And then I ran into another American in a bookstore in San Francisco.
Who's that?
Oh, what was his name? J. Donald Walters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he had a place that he was starting up, he said, on San Juan Ridge.
Huh.
And he also said he was going to come look at the land again. He was living in San Francisco.
Okay.
In a few days. And then we suggested that we team up and go in two cars. My friend Allen Ginsberg, who was with me. And
wow.
and Mr. Walters, and I don't remember who went with him.
Okay.
So we all drove up to and followed him, which led to Nevada City, and then led up to San Juan Ridge, and near the what remains now of the old Gold Rush hamlet of North Columbia. He turned off the road onto a gravel road and followed him.
Okay.
And that was another 3 or 4 miles. And he said, this is the area in which I've got a little piece of land already. And would you like to look at it? Now, in preparation for this, to back up a little bit, I had gotten the USGS, United States Geographical Service,
Right.
maps, the quadrangles, and I had studied the maps of this area closely.
It's good to do some homework.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
And I already marked out, seeing where we were in, where we had ended up with him. I could locate, where the mining area was, the gravel, the exposed gravel from mining in the 1850s. And then out of that into a pristine forest. Pristine, it means like hasn't been burned or logged much.
Right.
Probably always it gets burned.
Right.
I don't think the area that we came into had ever been seriously logged. But at 3,000 feet, it's not like the state of Washington with giant trees. It's medium-sized trees, medium-sized ponderosa pine,
Right.
incense cedar,
Right.
some hemlock,
Right.
and then quite a few nice big oaks.
Okay.
That was the kind of, the oaks provided
For birds.
for Indians.
Okay.
The acorn.
They knew how to
Oh,
process
you
acorns.
haven't even found that out yet, have you?
Well, I knew acorns are very nutritious, but it's very hard to process.
When I told you last night,
Okay.
that Pat Anderson had done this lifetime work with California native Californians and how they subsisted. And I told whoever was there, maybe you weren't there, that she says that the California Indian people were able to get as much food stuff quite seriously and nicely, as much as is produced even today with American agriculture.
The acorn.
Acorn and other things.
Okay.
But the acorn is a great food source.
Yes.
And that ridge right over here is a big ridge of beautiful acorns that are growing.
Right.
And it runs for about a mile. And so it could be that this was a really good acorn processing, picking and processing site right here. I took out the map and I looked at it and I found out where the corners were and where the line was between the Bureau of Land Management Public Land and the piece of land that was private land that I was interested in.
Right.
And it was a 100-acre parcel.
Wow.
So then did a quick hike as best I could over most of the land in a matter of just an hour and a half.
Wow.
I just went crashing through this way and that way, but I would be following my compass.
That's amazing.
So I took notes on what that was like, and I told Ginsberg, I think this would be a good place. It's got some open meadow. It's got what looks like it would be possibly a year-round stream in a good year. It's got a lot of open grass areas, and then it's got great pine and oak forest.
Right.
So with that in mind, we left and went back to San Francisco. And I thought about it and then came up in a week or two, went into the courthouse in Nevada City, got the maps out with the government, and found more about the land here and who owned it, and arranged to buy it.
Wow. It was available for
It was
sale.
available, yeah.
That's amazing.
At what seemed to be a very good price at that time. So that was the beginning of that. Then we went back to San Francisco. J. Donald Walters went ahead and kept on going with his organization and bought more property on the ridge, and became known to the world as Swami Kriyananda.
Oh, okay. Okay, Swami Kriyananda. That's a beautiful name.
Well, it's Sanskrit.
What does it mean?
The energy of bliss.
Oh, okay. very appropriate.
Kriya
Yeah.
is kind of an energy.
Yeah.
And Ananda is wisdom, insight, and bliss.
Okay. No wonder I can sleep well in your tatami room.
That's how
on
he
this
managed
ridge.
to get lots of people to follow him and
That's
spend money.
amazing. Wow.
Because they thought that's what they would get from being here.
Okay. Get a lot of bliss, good energy.
No. You have to work hard.
Yes. Well, that's the only way, right? To get bliss, And
The only kind of bliss that really works
Yes,
is the
it's
kind you have
through
to
work.
work for.
you have to work for it.
Yeah, and
Yes.
plant some of it.
Right. So you started here was basically just the forest, woods.
Just the forest and a dirt road.
Right. And then you built gradually this beautiful infrastructure here.
Well, the next step was I rounded up some young men
Okay.
that were interested in such a project.
Right.
In particular, my friend Bruce Boyd.
He's
who
the
had-
architect.
He was just graduating
Right.
from Berkeley in
Okay.
architecture.
Right.
And he was the person who walked over the hills here
Right.
a few months later with him and me carrying hand tools to fall trees.
Wow. Really?
Yes.
No electric saws or
Oh, no,
gas saws?
gas saws.
Gas saws?
Chainsaws.
Chainsaws.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Actually, we did use, I think, my old two-man handsaw, too,
Really? Oh.
that I had from my father.
And you worked,
Well,
as a
yeah, I
forest
mean, every
person. Right.
log in this house,
Right.
we cut on the land around here.
Wow.
And then using big old style draw knives,
Okay.
got the bark off of them.
Wow.
And then we left the poles, this is a very important part,
Okay.
we left the poles racked up on some firewood so that it would be off the ground for a year. It didn't come back till the following summer, so that they could dry out just enough.
Oh, okay.
And because if you use them without letting them dry, they crack.
Right.
Yeah.
And if it's too dry, what will happen?
Well, it wasn't going to be too dry,
Okay.
but bigger troughs, bigger cracks.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Yeah.
And I know Allen Ginsberg also built his own house
see,
down the road.
Alan looked at me and he came around and helped work on this house some.
Right.
And got to know the landscape around here and
Right.
got to know some of the other young men. And then he decided, maybe I'd like to live here too.
Okay. So he built his own house.
So we met and talked about that,
Right.
and I made my suggestions to him.
Okay.
And also another person who became an eminent leader in the Zen Buddhist world, Dick Baker.
Okay.
Dick Baker decided to have a little place here.
Oh, okay. Is he still living here?
No,
No? Okay.
no, he's in Colorado.
Okay. He moved away.
Oh, a long time ago.
Wow.
But Shobo An, up on the hillside there, where Kai stays some
Right.
nights,
Right.
he built that.
Wow.
Actually, it was built in Japan.
Yes, I
Yeah.
heard the story. Could
And
you?
we got it into a ship and brought it over here and rebuilt it.
That's beautiful.
Stood it up again.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very old little temple, right?
Well, it's probably 300 years old.
That's pretty old.
Not
For America.
Not for Japan.
Right, not for Japan or China. But it's pretty old.
Yeah,
here.
well, it was well made. And, so it still is holding together.
Right.
But we put a lot of work into it as we built it
Yes.
and made it more solid.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Well, this house, the house you're staying in now, is just so beautiful, so well designed, and so solid.
Yeah, but boy, it needs maintenance.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Houses need maintenance.
Yes.
Wood needs maintenance.
That's right.
And so that's always how I look at it. What I'm behind on.
Well, You hurt your shoulder maintaining this house.
That's just almost every man who lives has done that at one time or another.
Yeah.
I kind of twisted one's shoulder a little too severely when falling off a roof with a frost on it.
Right. Oh, frost.
And
Okay.
hanging and dangling by one arm from a gutter until I decided to just let myself drop anyway, which I should have done in the beginning. It would have been much better.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you already probably snapped your ligament there, shoulder.
Oh, something went wrong.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I survived.
But at least you still have this beautiful place.
Yeah. And then we developed the spring and had a little caterpillar come in and enlarge the pool, the pond that was out there.
Okay, where the bullfrogs sawing every night.
Yeah.
Okay.
made the road down here so it was easier to drive.
Right.
Doing little improvements for years,
Right.
and also getting work done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I wrote almost all of the books that I have in print now.
Right.
Were written in one or another of these little
In
shops.
these, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And over there is your barn library.
Well, yeah, because I had so many books. In spite of the fact that I gave a lot of books away free and gladly every year to the University of California Library, I still have too many books because I try to be selective and I got too many books given to me free.
Okay.
But the library didn't mind.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm making my contribution
To the world?
to American intellectual life.
Yes.
If
yes.
they ever read it.
With your own writing and with other poets and writers'
A whole
books.
lot more than my own.
Right. And the name Kitkitdizze.
Well, that's the native people who were originally here were called Nishinan locally, and I took the name Kitkitdizze, which is one of their names for one of the common ground-hugging plants in the forest, known in slang American as mountain misery.
Yeah.
And known in the scientific vocabulary as Kamayabatea coliosis. Foliosis.
Right.
Foliosis.
It also has a lot of other names like bear clover.
Oh, bear clover is another one. That's about the only one.
Yeah, there are a few others. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And this brush is very important for the ecosystem.
All plants are important to an ecosystem. That's a good thing.
Especially the native.
About them.
Yeah, right.
It burns nice and bright in a ground forest fire on the ground.
Right.
And it doesn't seem to do a whole lot of damage in the process.
Right.
And it makes it less apt to burn the trees or get the trees started.
Right.
But we have forest fires.
Right.
We haven't had a forest fire pass through here since I was here. But I heard about some fires that passed through here about 1910.
Right. Oh, 1910. That's quite a while ago.
Oh, no.
1910?
That's not very long ago.
Okay. Right.
But I'm sure we'll have another one of these days. And
Right.
We'll see how it looks.
Right. So
however, the forest will always come back.
Yes. Right.
It doesn't destroy the forest, even if people think it does when they first look at it.
Right.
Yeah.
It destroys people who live in it.
Well, no, it destroys the houses.
Right, the housing. Yes. Yeah. And so
not always.
The native people here are also called
Miwok.
Miwok people.
They were a branch of the Miwok.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
It became Ewok people in Lord of Rings.
Well, you were just telling me that.
Your local writer, Kim
Stanley
Robinson in the year of rice and salt. He also had encounter with the native people here.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's in the books too.
Right, yeah. So Kitkitdizze, the plants, the roots can dig deep into the ground, like 5 feet, and holds
I
the
think
ground.
they probably do.
Yeah.
Dig themselves in pretty well.
Right, and holds the earth and prevent landsliding.
Probably.
Right. So I think the name is so appropriate for this place. As the person, as the guardian, and also, the citizen, right? A good citizen of the earth, right? Building this place up and made it into a poetry cultural center. You had a lot of people coming through this place.
Well, it was a Buddhist place primarily.
And you have a Zendo down there, right?
In which the branch of Buddhism which I studied in Japan and keep working at all these years, which is Zen Buddhism, or in Chinese, Chan Buddhism.
Right.
Well, we have a number of people around here who have an interest in that.
Right.
Also, they're pretty busy with other things in their life.
Right.
But one thing about the Zen or the Chan people is they like to work.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
It's everybody works hard, and they like to build well.
Yes.
And they have a sense of beauty.
Right. Yes.
So that's always been true.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm not surprised this place is just becoming so beautiful with poetry, with all the plants, living, in peace and harmony with nature, with all the ponderosa trees and with your sakura.
Well, to live in harmony with nature
requires a lot of work.
Requires
thinking.
Telling
the
newcomers not to worry about forest fires.
Yes.
Be careful, but don't let it scare you too much if it happens.
Right.
That's part of it all.
Right.
There's a lot of things like that. And another warning that we have to make people give to people is don't use so much electricity because it's too expensive. And if you're off the grid in particular, you don't want to use that much.
Right. And you are off the grid.
I'm still off the grid.
And so where do you get your electricity?
Well, we have solar panels.
Okay.
Batteries, other kinds of batteries.
Right.
And we have a generator.
Okay.
And a whole system.
Okay. And you've been living off grid for how many years?
Well, from the beginning.
Over 45 years?
Yes.
Wow. As old as the sakura tree in the back?
Yeah, older.
Older, even?
Yeah, so in the very early years, all we had was candles and kerosene lights.
Okay, wow.
And battery-operated radios.
Okay. And I remember you wrote quite a few poems about generator. And
generators are,
right.
They take up a lot of energy.
Energy to start, yes, yeah, and
to keep running.
Right. Well, it's a lot of work, but it's worth it. Just like poetry.
Well, I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
And if there wasn't work of that kind, there would be work of other kinds.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Gary. I think we should stop here because the sun has been in your eyes and it's kind of bothering you.
And what we've also gotten out of all that is quite a circle of young people reading poems.
Yes.
Singing songs, putting on little performances.
Here?
No, over in the North Columbia schoolhouse.
Oh,
is where we have cultural events.
Oh, North Columbia. Okay. Yes. I remember that place. We drove by yesterday, correct?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Yes. And, well, thank you so much, Gary.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Well, next episode, we'll talk about Gary's poem, Rip Rap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Great. Thank you.